Hey everyone, Sam from United People's TV. As you can see, I'm here with Chris Pajak in one phone call I really do not want to have. Talk about it.
I was I was almost disappointed with the Man United fight that they showed last night. To be honest with you, going a goal up, getting the penalty, even it out across the two legs with penalties and stuff. I expected more from you guys, and
Yeah, I
thankfully
mean,
you weren't able to give it.
you must have been nervous heading into
Oh,
like
mate,
40th minute.
I was nervous until 45 minutes. I was calling for Coutinho to go down for a penalty when he slotted that in.
Really?
We've done the goal reactions. That was the most nervous I think I've been for a game of football since Champions League final against AC Milan in 2007. That's how much United Liverpool means in Europe.
Yeah, something that really kicked into me last night is again how much I fucking hate Liverpool. It felt like the rivalry came back a bit. I don't know I don't know whether it had disappeared in the last couple of years or just been bubbling, but last night was intense. It was really, really intense.
Yeah, and I think I've been thinking about this a lot over the last week, and I agree with you 100%. And most of what I've realised is the rivalry, as much as the games between the clubs matter more than anything. We've not been on the same level as you guys for years. 2009 was the last time we were close to what you guys have been doing. And it's the same. We're playing each other in a cup competition. When was the last time? Was that a Daniel Agger 2-1?
What, when you
Played you in the
League
FA
Cup?
Cup or something like that, was it? I think it was like a fourth round of an FA Cup, maybe, something like
No,
that.
we played you in the third round under, was it Moyes?
Was it
And
Moyes?
Hernandez scored. I think it was a 1-0 scrappy win.
But
Not sure
like
though.
playing in a competition in Europe in the last 16 when it really starts to matter and stuff like that, and we're on the same, and we're in roughly the same position in the league as well. It's the first time these two clubs who hate each other have been fighting for the same thing, and that's probably why the rivalry is sort of renewed.
That Coutinho goal was
Oh,
such a sucker punch.
pure sex, just pure unadulterated sex. If I wasn't sat in a room with about seven other fellas, I'd have been wanking everywhere off that goal, mate. It was just unbelievable.
I'm pretty sure you lot played Soggy Biscuit after that.
Maybe
Maybe.
I'm not gonna confirm or deny whether we
That's what I'm
played.
thinking. But we didn't play incredibly well in that first half, but we had you pinned back. We had Mata could have scored, Rojo could have scored. Martial had a good chance as well that he put away early this season. But we only scored one, and you didn't really have that many chances. But when you got players like Coutinho on your team who are capable of taking those chances when they do come, then it showed. I mean, Varela, he's inexperienced. It was kind of always potentially going to happen, but prior to that, he actually played okay in that half. He wasn't that bad. He left himself up the pitch a little bit too much, but I think it was pretty harsh to hook him at half time.
Yeah, which is what happened to Rashford last week.
Yeah, I won't talk about that and how yet, but that goal really just killed it. As soon as that happened, it went flat, it went muted, and the second half came out, and the fans were just
Yeah.
like that.
And you know what? Fair play to some of the Man United fans, because at the end of the game, there was still a lot. Like, there was more people than I thought would be there. At the end of the game, there was a lot of people that went. Don't get me wrong, but there was the TV coverage. I couldn't get tickets to the game. The TV coverage started showing groups of Man United singing and backing the team right at the end. And fair play to them for that, because that's something that's very, very difficult to do when you're losing to your most bitter rivals.
It's not just losing, because when we play each other, it's never, maybe since 2009 when you beat us 4-1, it's never been a whitewash. It's never been a case where one goal wouldn't change it. So for an entire half, we knew that we needed 3 goals. So you just kicked it into second gear, and we couldn't do fucking anything.
Nah, second half, I mean, we took the wind out of yourselves massively, and we were talking at half time, some of the lads and stuff, and I was one of the, I think there was 2 of us saying, that's it, that they're not coming back from that. It's too late in the first half. It's too much of a sucker punch. Van Gaal hasn't had time to change his half-time team talk. I mean, if he even does them, I'm not sure they work, whatever he does, to be fair. But, you could see the team's heads visibly dropped. And when they were walking off the pitch for half-time, I knew they were done. And that's again, something that's not Man United.
When you saw our starting 11, what did you think?
Why? Why are you doing that? Honestly, I mean, what was it? Was Carrick the only change?
Oh, yeah, no. Was there any changes?
Carrick only came on in the second half against us in the first leg.
Well, yeah, it must have been then.
And he started. And I thought, yeah, I can understand why he's done that. You know, really experienced player playing in his proper position this time instead of centre-back. But ultimately, we dealt with you really well in the first leg. We only started to struggle in the first leg when you went 3 at the back, and we only struggled for 15 minutes. Don't get me wrong, first half, you were the better side, I actually think. Large periods of the game. But exactly the same as what happened over and over in both legs is, as soon as we get into the defence of your team, shambolic. Absolute shambolic. Always like so much space. That Henderson one first half, you know, where he's going for the top bin again. You know, think about the one where Dejan Lovren's bombing down the right hand side and he crosses it to Coutinho in the touch of a rapist. Like, you know, we had quite a few opportunities. David De Gea again makes 4 world class saves. He has been carrying your team, and you'll know better than me. He's been carrying your team all season long.
Oh, the fact that he's probably going to win our Player of the Year for the 3rd consecutive year, it says it all. But as soon as we all saw Carrick and Fellaini in that fucking starting 11, and you got Schweinsteiger and Schneiderlin both on the bench, Herrera's out with a niggle, you think, what the fuck are you doing, Louis? Like, understand the fact that Schweinsteiger can't play 90 minutes, so don't start him. Fair enough. Bring him on after maybe 55, 60, so he's got half an hour to impact the game. He brings him on after 75 when the game's done. He doesn't start Morgan Schneiderlin.
Those defensive substitutions when you need 3 goals, mate. If that was me, when he's bringing on an Arctic monkey to play left back when he's a right back and stuff like that, what's he doing? You know what I mean?
You're bringing on 2 fullbacks in the centre mid when you need 3 goals.
It's insane. I mean, what is he? Is he trying to salvage pride so that you don't get beat? Is he actually going for it? I just do not understand it. How you've never pushed on and basically got Nathaniel Klein sent off is beyond me. That should have been targeted because, to be perfectly honest with you, I thought he picked up a yellow in the first half. I was surprised when he got yellow carded and not a red, because I was like, didn't he get picked up? And Paul was exactly the same, and we were like, that's the first time we've seen Nathaniel Klein struggle against pace. Yeah,
he really, obviously he took Martial down for the penalty, but the worst foul for him was when he literally kicked Rashford right in the shin. He must have missed the ball by about 7-8 inches.
Yeah. That was the one when he picked the yellow card.
Yeah. Well, he could have been booked for both. I'm not going to go into it because I think that's glossing over the issues of what we saw from United there. And again, it was a complete lack of fucking fight. A real lack of desire. That second half, you saw it. Everyone's shoulders dropped. Atmosphere dropped. Players, by the last 15 minutes, you have Fellaini playing as a centre forward. You have Blind playing as a central midfielder. Everybody lost their heads. And, you know, you cruised it. You can't fucking ever let Liverpool cruise to a win. You've got to make them work hard for it. I mean, the worst thing for United is sort of, there was maybe a 55-minute period over 180 minutes where we were actually playing football and we actually looked like we gave a shit. Other than that, we bent over and just let you have your wicked way with us. And
that's it, like,
you can't do that in a game between Liverpool and United.
No, you can't. And look, you're right. I think 55 minutes of the 180, you were probably the better side. That's just not good enough. That's not what you expect. If Manchester United and their players cannot get up for a game in the last 16 of the Europa League against Liverpool, what are you playing for the rest of the season? Are these players going to be able to get up for anything? Does West Ham matter to them in the Cup replay?
Mate, we've got Man City in 3 days.
Amazing, isn't it?
No, it's not fucking amazing. It's literally the opposite of amazing. Game is...
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Fucking shut up. It's not incredible.
I've said this so many times over the years. If we beat these, this could be the end of their season. I genuinely believe that this has got the best chance of coming through out of all of it, because I just can't see any way back for these players unless it's the kids. That's the only thing.
No. We had the kids, and the kids came in, and the kids did revive the season. Then Van Gaal took them back out of the team, put Fellaini back in the team, and we're back at square one. So if he brings the kids in, it's an old trick he's already pulled out. He's used it, and it's lost the magic because he took it back out of the team. And
I've actually got Louis Van Gaal here with me. Here he is. See? The fucking walking thumb. Doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, does he? Doesn't know whether he's going left or right. Louis Van Gaal.
Put your fucking thumbs away. But yeah, something we obviously need to talk about as well. More crowd trouble last night. There's about maybe 10, 15 Liverpool fans snuck in above the east stand into the upper, unfurled a Liverpool banner. United fans are pissed. Fights broke out. Flares broke out. Chairs are being busted. Munich songs are going around. Murderous songs are going around. It all happened again.
Yeah. It's not... From both sides, it's not good enough at all.
No.
Like, to be perfectly honest with you, and I think I actually, until you've just said it now, I didn't know those Munich songs getting sang, and I'm gutted that Liverpool have sort of. I don't. Do you know what? I was gonna say risen to the bait, but I think that's the wrong thing to say. I think this sort of he said it first, she said it. Shit needs to stop, because it's like, all right, Manchester United fans sang it at Anfield, and I don't think that Liverpool fans retaliated in any way with the song. I certainly didn't hear it. I was sat on the ground.
Yeah.
That is irrelevant. Whether Manchester United did it first or Liverpool did it first, it doesn't bloody matter anymore. A line needs to be drawn, because we're all football fans. We all go to the game. We all love our football club. Trying to piss people off over the dead is just the most ridiculous thing. You know, I don't know whether you saw the banner on the M602 going into Manchester last night, and you're just thinking. Now, I don't know for certain that that's Man United fans.
Yeah,
and that's what it's come down to, because it could be, and I doubt it is, but it could be a section of Liverpool fans that have done it to rile Liverpool fans up.
It could be City fans.
It could be fucking City fans. Yeah. It's probably more likely City fans than anything to get Man United fans in trouble. And you're just thinking, this is why it's got to stop, because it'll just escalate. And the next time the two sides meet, it will probably escalate even further. And that's not what you want to see. You want to be able to take kids to football. You want to be talking about the next generation. You want to be able to go with your owl fella and all that. It's not good enough, man, and it brings the whole game into disrepute.
I don't get why you can't just fucking sing about Steven Gerrard slipping, why you can't just sing about how we've been shit over the last 3 years. Why has it always got to... It is like that, he said, she said, until you reach a point where the only thing you can say is coming over the top with this, which you know is going to be the rising point. It's when shit's going to kick off. And inevitably it did. That's what I'm saying about how last night really sort of re-intensified the rivalry for me. It wasn't because of that. It was just that sort of situation where it felt like it exploded. And obviously your fans are buzzing in the away end. And I would think it's fucking brilliant if like 15 United fans snuck into a fucking away end at Liverpool and they unfurled a banner, as we did like a couple of years ago. I think some rogue United fan unfurled a banner at Anfield. It'd be brilliant, but there's a line to be drawn between getting one over on your rivals and then trying to come over the top and trying to use the fucking dead as a weapon. It doesn't make sense in any vein of life, whether it be work, personal life, football. Football is supposed to be a pleasure game. It's supposed to be an entertainment game. You go there, yes, you're playing your rivals. Yes, it's going to be fucking intense, but you want to beat them. It's supposed
to be an escapism from the mundane, isn't it? And that's what it's like. And when it gets to sort of dangerous territory and stuff like that, and when you get people who are stood next to people singing these songs who aren't enjoying themselves, who paid a lot of money to go there and enjoy themselves, that's not right. If you're putting someone in the seat next to you, putting fear into them, that's not right, man. That's not football. And taking the mick out of the dead in any situation, as you correctly say, is just totally fucking wrong, and I can't abide it. Like,
but I mean, I suppose there's UEFA have charged us, both clubs, so I'm not sure what's going to come here. Maybe a reduced allocation, maybe a fine, but I suppose it won't be anything. It's going to be up to the clubs and to the fans themselves to stop this from happening. But moving on from the game, I can't fucking wait to play Liverpool next year. I'm already counting down the days to it, because you've got one up on us massively here. And as you said, the trajectories of the club have been different for a long time. Now we're sitting at the same point. Where do United go from here, and where does Liverpool go from here? You're in a position now with Klopp where you can kick on. You've got the right manager who's now got the time in his hands. We're at a crossroads where if we fuck up this next appointment, after 3 years of Moyes and Van Gaal, we could risk going down the Liverpool slope back in the 90s. We've already touched upon that. And it's a harder appointment than replacing Fergie right now.
Have you read Simon Hughes' article in the Telegraph that was released last night after the game?
No.
Incredible article. Like he's an incredible journalist. He is a Liverpool fan. He's actually a friend of mine as well. He's come on the show loads of times with us. It's really interesting. I recommend you to go and check it out. He talks about Man United's decline and mirrors it to Liverpool's decline in the 90s and stuff. And he talks about Bastian Schweinsteiger actually as being one of those players that epitomises everything. And I'll briefly touch on it because the article's incredible. But Ferguson knew when a player was done. Knew when he wasn't good enough. Talked about how he turned to Mike Phelan during training one time when Roy Keane was unable to get back and get the ball. Whispered in Phelan's ear during a training session, Roy Keane's done. it's time for him to go, and he did. And it's those type of things where Man United are saying, don't get me wrong, Bastian Schweinsteiger was one of the best players in the world for a long time and stuff, but not a Man United signing. Not good enough for Manchester United. Not if you want to be challenging for league titles and stuff, because he's just not fit enough. There's a reason that Bayern Munich let him go, and
replaced him with Vidal.
Yeah, and Man United shouldn't be signing those type of players.
No, I do personally think that using the right context and the right way, that Schweinsteiger is an asset to have. It's just we haven't done that this season, and the same thing goes for Fellaini. I think if we use him in the right way, he'd be a fucking asset to the team.
I'd just use him against Liverpool because it's the only team that he seems to play well against.
But
because he was good again last night against us. I don't know whether that's me getting worried because I know what he does and like how strong he is and throwing the elbows in and all that. Like, but does he do that against anyone else? Because every time I watch United, he's not involved.
He went for a little bit of a mini renaissance. I think it was last season when he scored his first goal against West Brom, and then went on like a 6-7 game streak of scored against City. Played every single game, and he was looking really good. But he's been used now as a central midfielder in a central midfield 2 and expected to play football. He's better at playing football with his elbows than he is with his feet, and we've seen that. And you laughing is exactly what everyone's doing at United now by playing Fellaini every week when we've got Schneiderlin on the bench. As many problems as we have, so many are self-inflicted. The subs were making yesterday, the players were playing, and United fans are literally just counting down days on the calendar until the season's over.
LVG in or out?
Huh? Fucking hell, he needed to go in December, man. It's not the first time that we haven't won in 4 games consistently. Lost 4 in a row in December, now hitting to another 4 streak, and we're heading into fucking City away. What can you say? And then we've got West Ham in the FA Cup replay. That's going to be hard as hell, even if we're in good form. So this season is complete write-off, and I don't know. I know you're fucking loving it. You're sitting there and you can't wipe it off your face. And I don't blame you, because you've had years of us shoving it down your throat. And football is cyclical. So it does happen like this, and there are peaks and troughs and all that shit. But United are at a crossroads, which is a very, very dangerous place to be in right now. And
the difference is, Sam, I know how to deal with it. I know how to deal with Liverpool being shit. Man United fans don't know how to deal with Man United being shit yet. 3 years, you still think it's going to be dead easy to get back to the top, and it's not going to be dead easy to get back to the top, and it is so difficult, and it is so horrible when your team's shit, like, and everyone's bantering about Arsenal and Tottenham and all this, and you just sat there completely out of the conversation, wanting to banter back with everybody. You've got no fucking ammunition, and it's horrible, mate, and we've had it for fucking years, so I'm just made up that you've fucking got it now.
Well, fuck's sake, I haven't even got a comeback to that. Look, all in all, you definitely deserve to go through over the 2 legs. I'll say good luck in the quarters, I'll be fucking lying.
You're going to draw Dortmund. Oh, the draw's in like 45 minutes.
Or is it? Do you want Dortmund?
No, what the fuck? I'll tell you who I don't want. I don't want Dortmund. I don't want Braga or Shakhtar Donetsk either. Braga's just as Europa League as it gets, and we don't play well in the proper Europa.
They've got cracking away, though. It's right next to the mountain.
Yeah, we've played them before, mate. It's just, you don't want the Europa League to be like the Europa League. You want a fixture that's like the Champions League, but you don't want Dortmund. I want to go for Athletic Bilbao because they've got, like, their players have to come from, like, a park, don't they, basically? They've got, like, a Calder Stones Park 2-mile radius that their players can come from. Surely we can beat a park team. That's what I'm thinking.
But do you have any idea how good that park is?
It's very, very good. No, I totally understand it. Like, Herrera, was he a Bilbao player?
Yeah, he was Bilbao.
Yeah, I mean, they've got some outstanding players, but they're a team that are good enough for Liverpool to raise their game, and that's what we need to do, but they're not, we've got a chance of beating them, unlike Dortmund.
Anyway, I'm not fucking talking about Liverpool anymore. Cheers for coming on. Well done, you cunt. And as I said, bring it on next year, because this really has re-intensified the rivalry for me.
Yeah. What competition? Just the Premier League? You're not going to be in Europe, lad.
All right, leave it out.
We're making a charge for the top 4, lad.
Yeah, you are. No, you genuinely are. But if you win your game in hand, you're level on points with us, aren't you?
Yeah.
No, fucking hell. We're self-imploding this season. Bring on, as I said, bring on May. Maybe bring on Mourinho. Let's see what happens there, eh?
I was feeling really tired before this conversation, mate, but that bottle of Lucozade and this chat has just really, really made my day. Thank you very much, Sam. Thanks for having me on United People's TV. Thank you very much.
Bye, Chris.